Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss a new chapter, that is stoichiometry. So this chapter seems to be very interesting because most of this chapter involves the calculation part and logical part. So here, what do you mean by the stoichiometry? So the stoichiometry is a section of chemistry which gives the quantitative relationship between the reactants and products involved in a chemical reaction. What do you mean by that? Quantitative relationship between the reactants and products. That means when we write a reaction, for example, C plus O2 gives rise to CO2. So here, how do you read this? Carbon react with oxygen to form carbon dioxide. Somebody can raise the question, sir, how much amount of a carbon dioxide is formed? Okay, say certain amount of a carbon dioxide is formed. To form that certain amount of a carbon dioxide, how much amount of a carbon is involved? How much amount of oxygen is involved? And during this reaction, suppose you are mixing certain quantity of carbon, certain quantity of oxygen without doing any calculation, just you are mixing to form the carbon dioxide. Then one more question will be raised. During the reaction between carbon and oxygen to form the carbon dioxide, whatever you are mixing the quantity of carbon or oxygen, does it involve completely in the reaction or not? To answer such questions, so we need to study, so this is stoichiometry. The stoichiometry, it is a Greek word. It is combination of the two words. One is stoichion. Stoichion means in Greek, that is element, and metron means measures. This is the actual meaning of stoichiometry. So in this chapter, we can discuss one by one. So first we discuss about the matter and the classification of matter. After that, we discuss the atomic mass, molecular mass and mole concept. After that, once we have a command on these, so the basic concepts, we can easily understood the stoichiometric calculations. After that, we will discuss how to determine a molecular formula or empirical formula. After that, how to balance a chemical equation, and that is also we are going to be learn in this chapter. First, I will concentrate on that the basic concepts of chemistry, that is you know very well actually. So when we see the CBSE or some other syllabus, it was in the first chapter. But in our syllabus, it was included in the 5th chapter. Anyway, you have certain idea about that concept. But once again, I will discuss clearly in this chapter. So the first one is matter. What do you mean by the matter? We have already discussed in the gaseous state. The matter means anything has some mass and occupies some space. That is called as matter. So whatever the things around are, all are related to the matter, but whichever it is in the form of energy that might not be seen be, that is also said to be a matter. That is also composition of a certain things. So here this matter can be classified in two ways. Classified in two ways. One is physical classification and another one is chemical classification. Chemical classification. The matter can be classified in two ways. One is physical classification and the second one is chemical classification. So I will discuss one by one. First I will discuss the physical classification. Physical classification. In the physical classification, depending upon the physical state of matter, depending upon the physical state of matter, depending upon physical state of matter, the matter can be classified into three types. One is solid, another one is liquid, and the third one is gas. So the matter can exist in three physical states, namely solid or liquid, and another one is gas. You know very well what do you mean by the solid. The solid is always possess a definite size and definite shape, whereas the liquid is possess the definite volume but not which one, shape. Because whenever a liquid will be placed in that different types of shapes of a container, then it takes the shape of that container in which it is placed. So whereas the solid possesses the definite size or volume and definite shape. But when it comes to the gas, it does not possess a definite volume, it does not possess a definite shape. So like that we can define the three physical states of a matter. This is very clearly discussed in the last chapter. And a matter might be converted into solid to liquid, or liquid to gas, or solid to gas, okay, gas to liquid, or liquid to solid, or gas to solid. There are so many conversions are possible. So whether it is exists in which physical state, that is decided by the temperature and pressure. At appropriate temperature and pressures, so the matter might be exist in solid or liquid or gaseous state. And you know very well the conversion of solid into liquid, that is called as melting, and the conversion of liquid into gaseous state is called as vaporization. And whereas the solid to gas is called sublimation. These are the words we are commonly used in the next chapter, that is in thermodynamics. We need to be having a medium of idea. So the solid to liquid is called melting. So it is also called as fusion. What is it? This is also called as fusion. So liquid to gas is vaporization. Solid to gas is sublimation. Then gas is converted into liquid state is called liquefaction. And liquid to solid is called as freezing, and gas to directly converted into solid is called deposition. So these are the different names of the process to convert one physical state of a matter into the another physical state of a matter. Solid to liquid is called melting or fusion. Liquid to gas is called vaporization. Solid to gas is called sublimation. Gas to liquid is called liquefaction. Liquid to solid is called freezing. Gas to solid is called deposition. So now here, these are the different physical states of a matter. In any one of the three physical states, the matter might be exist, that is decided by the temperature and pressure. In all the three physical states, whatever the constituent particles are there, that constituent particles are never maintain equal distance, because you studied it already gaseous state. In the gaseous state, the constituent particles are separated by the large distance, whereas in the solid state, the particles are come very close to each other, but whereas in the liquid, so compared to solid, somewhat away from each other, compared to gas, somewhat very close to each other in the liquid state. So this is about the physical classification of a matter. The second classification of a matter is chemical classification of a matter. It is based on its composition, based on the constituent particles of a matter. So, based on the chemical classification of a matter, so the matter can be classified into two types, pure substances and mixtures. What is the basic difference between the pure substances and mixtures is, it is containing only one kind of particles. Only one kind of elements are present. But whereas in the mixture, more than one kind of particles are present. So the two or more compounds are present. So now these pure substances are further classified into elements and compounds. These compounds are further classified into inorganic compounds and organic compounds. First, what do you mean by the pure substances? Pure substances is nothing but it consists of only single type of particles. So these are further classified into two types. What is that? Elements and compounds. So what do you mean by the element? Element is defined as a pure substance which can neither be decomposed into nor built from a simple substance by ordinary physical or chemical method, that is called as element. Element is defined as a pure substance which can either be decomposed into a simple substance. When you try to decomposing that element, it never decomposes, and moreover it is not built from a simple substance. That means whenever a simple substance is subjected to some method, some physical process or a chemical process, it never will be formed. Such type of the substance is called as which one? Element. For example, hydrogen, oxygen, silicon, helium, neon, argon. So like that, all these are called as which one? Elements. And it comes to the compound. What do you mean by the compound? It may be defined as it is a pure substance. That means it is also consists of only single type of particles, but that particles are obtained by the union of two or more atoms of different elements in a definite proportion by weight, and into which it may be decomposed by a suitable chemical method. So that means the compound is always formed by the combination of the two or more atoms of the different elements. So that is in a definite proportion by which one? Weight. And that compound, whenever it is subjected to the decomposition, it might be converted into the, so that atoms of different elements by a suitable chemical method. That is called compound. Here, so this element is made up of the same atoms, because hydrogen H2 is there. This is a combination of the two hydrogen atoms. Oxygen is there. It is a combination of the two oxygen atoms. So here the same type of atoms are present in the element. But whereas in the compound, the different types of atoms are present. Those two atoms are combined, okay, by a certain proportion of by weight. And whenever it is subjected to the decomposition, that it might be converted into that atoms. That is called as here compound. For example, water molecule is there, H2O. The water molecule is a combination of two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom. And the two hydrogen atoms mass is 2 and this is 16. What is the simplest ratio? 1:8. And that means hydrogen and oxygen are combined in 1:8 proportion by weight, then we get a compound. This water molecule might be, whenever it is subjected to the certain chemical method, it might be decomposed into the atoms of that element, hydrogen plus oxygen. You might be get like that. Such type of the compounds are called as, the type of the substances are called as, here which one? Compounds. Here, so this water molecule is there. This water molecule is formed from the combination of the two atoms. One is hydrogen and oxygen. Generally we know that hydrogen is combustible, oxygen is support for combustion. Then what we are expected, the property of a water molecule is also will be support for the combustion. But it is not support for the combustion. It is against to the combustion. That is clearly indicates here. So whatever the compound is formed, that properties of the compound completely might be different from the so from their constituent atoms, and that means the water molecule never have the properties like hydrogen or oxygen. So that is also one of the important property related to the compounds. Then these compounds are classified into two types: inorganic compounds and organic compounds. What do you mean by inorganic compounds? The compounds which are obtained from non-living sources. Non-living sources. They are called as inorganic compounds. What do you mean by the non-living sources? Non-living sources is nothing but simply, just for your understanding, earth crust. In the earth crust, so whatever the compounds are available, all those are treated as inorganic compounds. For example, the gold is there. Gold is extracted from which one? Earth crust. The sodium chloride is extracted from which one? Earth crust. Okay, most of the compounds, okay, are extracted from the which one? Earth crust. All those compounds are called as which one? Inorganic compounds. What do you mean by the organic compounds? The compounds which are obtained from the living sources. Living sources means plants and animals. So whichever the compounds are obtained, they are called as organic compounds. So you know very well. So carbohydrates, glucose, fructose, sucrose, okay, maltose, like that. Starch, cellulose, all these are proteins, amino acids. Okay, all these are obtained from which one? Living sources. That's why all those are compounds are called as which one? Organic compounds. So in the organic compounds, one of the important constituent element is always which one? Carbon. So definitely in all the organic compounds, okay, they are made up of the different types of atoms of different elements. But here one of the element is always present in that one is which one? Carbon. So like that, the compounds are classified into two types: inorganic compounds and organic compounds. Inorganic compounds are obtained from non-living sources. Organic compounds are obtained from living sources. So like that, this is a one classification, that is pure substances means they are consist of only single type of particles. These are classified into the two types: elements and compounds. Element means it is a pure substance which can either be decomposed or not built from a simple substance by any ordinary physical or chemical method. But the compounds are made from the two or more different types of the elements. They will be combined in a certain proportion by weight, and when these compounds are subjected to the decomposition, they might be converted into that atoms of elements. These are further classified into two types: inorganic compounds, organic compounds. Inorganic compounds are which are obtained from the non-living sources. The compounds which are obtained from the living sources are called as organic compounds. So the mixtures now. The other side is mixtures. What do you mean by the mixture? Mixture is nothing but is a combination of the two or more different compounds or elements. That is called as a mixture. Is there any particular proportion they might be mixed together? No. In any proportion, any two or more different compounds, two or more different elements are combined, the obtained one is called as which one? Mixture. So for example, you know very well, the sugar is dissolved in water. When the sugar is dissolved in water, it is a mixture of the two compounds. One is sugar and another one is water. So the natural example is tea is there. The tea is made up of, we are using the tea powder and sugar and milk. So these three are mixed in a certain proportion. So these together we are getting a tea. The tea is called as which one? Mixture. So the cool drink was there, soft drink is there. So the gas was dissolved in that particular quantity of that liquid. So then that is also called as which one? Mixture, because it is consist of the two or more compounds. So like that, these mixtures are classified into the two. One is homogeneous and another one is heterogeneous mixture. The basic difference between the homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture, when we mixing the two or more different compounds or elements in a different proportion, we are getting only one phase. Then that is called as homogeneous mixture. If more than one phase is present, then that is called heterogeneous mixture. For example, sugar is dissolved in water. When a a spoon of sugar is dissolved in a glass of water and shake it vigorously, and you can see from the top to bottom of the glass, is there any layer will be appeared? Is there any definite boundary can be separated from the sugar from water? No. It is consist of only one phase throughout that sample. So that is mixture is called homogeneous mixture. The mixture of gases are there in the atmosphere. It seems to be very clearly, okay, it is visible to our naked eye. It is consist of only one phase. So that is called as homogeneous mixture. But when it comes to the heterogeneous mixture, so there is a clear boundary is separated between the two compounds which are mixing in a different quantity of proportion. For example, the sand is dissolved in water. When the sand is dissolved in water, the sand is separated from the water. We are consisting the two phases. So that is called as heterogeneous mixture. And smoke particles. So are dust particles in air. Even you are observing in the theater, when you are, okay, the light was focused on the screen, the dust particles are clearly visible to our naked eye when you are concentrated on the light. That means the dust particles are present in the air. Okay, so with the options of the light, they are mixing together, it seems to be only one phase. But actually, the dust particle in the air is an example of which one? Heterogeneous mixture, because both are not mixing to form a single phase. And not only that one, the smoke particles in water, all these are the examples of heterogeneous mixture. So that means when we see the composition of that mixture, uniformly throughout the sample it is present, that is homogeneous. If the composition is not uniformly there, that is said to be heterogeneous mixture. So like that, this is about the chemical classification of a matter. Once again, so based on the composition of a matter, so the matter can be classified into two types, pure substances and a mixture. Pure substances always consist of a single type of particles. Mixtures are always consist of more than one type of compounds or elements. And these pure substances are classified into two types, elements and compounds. So elements is defined as a pure substance which can either be built from a simple substance nor decomposed into a simple substance by ordinary physical or chemical method. And here only one kind of atoms are present in these elements. But whereas the compounds are formed by the combination of the two or more different types of elements in a definite proportion by weight. And these compounds are classified into two types, inorganic compounds, organic compounds. Inorganic compounds means which are obtained from the earth crust, that is non-living sources. They are called inorganic compounds. So like sodium chloride, okay, whatever the material is available in the earth crust, all are the best examples for the inorganic compounds. You know that washing soda, sodium bicarbonate, that is also an inorganic compound. Sodium carbonate, that is also an inorganic compound, because that is also will be obtained so in the earth crust. Calcium carbonate is there, okay, that is also available in the earth crust. That is also an example of inorganic compounds. Organic compounds means which are obtained from the living sources. Living sources means here animals or plants, like carbohydrates, animals or plants, carbohydrates, fats, oils, okay, wax, all those are called as the best example for the organic compounds. Definitely, in all the organic compounds, one of the important constituent of element, the atom is carbon. The other one, the mixtures are classified into two types, homogeneous and heterogeneous. When we see the homogeneous mixture, it has the same composition throughout the sample. That means it is consist of only one phase. But in the heterogeneous mixture, throughout the sample, the same composition is not present. It consists of the two or more phases. That type of the mixtures are called heterogeneous mixtures. This is about the matter and its classification in terms of physical as well as chemical classification.